your mind. And tonight I'm alive in a dollar sign, guaranteed I can blow your mind. And tonight I'm alive in a dollar sign, guaranteed I can blow your mind. Yeah, I'm so bad, best that you've had. I guess you're digging the show. Open the door, you want some more. When you wanna leave, let me know. Tell me I'm too crazy, you can't tame me, can't tame me. Tell me I have changed, but I'm the same me, same me inside. Hey, if you don't like the way I talk, then why am I on your mind? If you don't like the way
All right. Well, hey, thank you for joining us. I'm Marti Mongiello, and this is Contemporary Motivation Theories. Thank you for enjoying the little pre-presentation gathering and seating music while everybody was getting settled, or if you just fast forwarded through this to get it moving, that's cool too. Uh, yeah, and let me do that with us for Contemporary Motivation Theories. I am a Dean's listed doctoral student right now at the John F. Kennedy School of Psychology and Social Sciences. I'm at National University, and this particular class under Professor Rajanique Modeste, Dr. Modeste, um, this is work motivation and attitudes. So this has been just an awesome class and fantastic professor, let me tell you. Very, very modern with it and up to date. This presentation does include some elements of the author's hand-drawn graphics, which is myself, but formatting and tables and artificial intelligence tools. And generally, I'm modulating across Canva, Gemini, and professional membership with ChatGPT. So I have paid professional licensed memberships, including on ChatGPT, professional level, $120 per month. Our music today, of course, was licensed by Canva at a professional level. So that is all paid for. And yeah, I'm happy to present on this. There's three contemporary theories I wanted to contemplate on and share with you, and then bring these into real world modern business leaders that are alive and working today. So those are self-determination theory and goal setting theory and job demands resources theory. And that will include self-efficacy and self-regulation, which will be treated as motivational resources. And then, like I said, I'm going to link these into research and actually 7 modern business leaders across politics, education, and business. And so for this part of the presentation, I do actually have over here my onboard speaker's notes. I have a lot of people ask me, hey, I can't figure out how to access the speaker's notes, or they're not working properly in my version of Copilot or Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, or a tablet that they're on, or they couldn't get it to come up on their handheld phone, or they have a Galaxy Z Fold that opens up to a tablet and switches the software. So when it's closed, it's in cell phone mode, and when you open it up, it switches to tablet. And so I am using onboard speakers notes, where everybody gets to see everything. It makes it easy to find. Here they are over here. And for this part of the presentation, I'm focusing on these 3 contemporary theories that help explain how people stay motivated, perform well, and lead effectively. So first, self-determination. So this theory emphasizes the importance of autonomy, competence, and relatedness. In other words, people are more committed when they feel they have choice, they can grow, and they're connected to others. And second would be goal-setting theory. And this shows that clear, challenging, and meaningful goals that you're trying to attain, okay, can direct attention and increase persistence. And strong leaders do not just inspire broadly, but they translate vision into specific targets. So third, of course, is job demands, resources theory. And this helps us understand motivation in real work environments. Demands such as pressure, complexity, and change that can drain people, but resources like support, feedback, self efficacy, and self regulation can protect your energy and improve engagement. Definitely. So, self regulation can protect energy and improve engagement. I'll use these theories as lenses for examining 7 modern leaders from politics, education, and business. And the goal is not to reduce leadership to one formula because we know that doesn't work, but to show how research can help us see patterns in how leaders motivate themselves and others through challenge, uncertainty, and opportunity. And these examples, of course, are going to connect theory to practice, making the concepts easier to compare, critique, and remember. And think of this slide as a map before we enter the case studies today. I have up here the 7 that I have chosen. And let me blow them up for you so you can see them a little bit bigger. I know that's small. Let me make that a little bit larger for you there. So, Ngozi Akanjo Iwe Ala, she is the Director General of the World Trade Organization. And Jing Zhu, she's the Mary Gibbs Jones Professor at Rice University for Business. John Harrington, very famous Native American and astronaut for NASA. Also, United States Navy retired like me. Amalia Raquel Perez Nebra, she's at the University of Zaragoza. She's an assistant professor. And you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm trying to do a huge cross spectrum of inclusion across the world and 6 continents. I'm not going to pull anybody out of Antarctica. There's only about 5,000 people who live down there. So, but the 6 continents. Jose M. Piero, he's a professor emeritus at the University of Valencia in Español, Spain. And Delia Virga, she's a dean and full professor at West University of Timisoara. And of course, Dua Lipa. You may have noticed on Dua Lipa that the flags back there on the first slide, Dua Lipa is a triple citizenship person, kind of cool, from Kosovo, but also lived and raised in the United Kingdom and Albania. So how cool is that? I know some of my friends in Albania are going to like that. But Dua Lipa, great artist, and people are always saying, like, hey, Marty, how are you going to take theory and research into direct business reality? Well, let's talk about direct business reality today, okay? Not just pedagogy and producing some research, slide deck or a video, and how we're going to reach young folks today. We're going to do it through music, okay? What a great medium to reach today's Gen Z, Alpha, and Millennials through music. And I'm a Gen X, so hey, I'm loving music too. I don't know too many people who don't. On the self-determination theory in all of my slides, I'm not going to read the whole slide over here to you. And please feel free to pause this video. But my research with references will always be listed at the bottom. And then I will have, of course, my full reference list at the end for you here is quite extensive. And I've got hot links to all of them. So my reference list is at the end. But yeah, let's take a look at that there and look at the first one. Literally, I'm going to actually focus on my speaker's notes over here. But if you'd like to pause me and shut me up, please feel free to pause me. You can read the core elements here, the strengths and weaknesses, and then the workplace application. And my resources. I have some further information on my resources, but I do list them down here at the bottom in APA 7 format. So, self-determination theory. This explains workplace motivation. And at this point, if you want to space out and just listen to me, you don't need to be reading this or looking at this. But just space out if you want to, or close your eyes. This explains workplace motivation through 3 central psychological needs. Those are autonomy, competence, and relatedness. So these needs operate much like the essential ingredients in a well-prepared dish. And I've got a photo of me down there as a chef. All right, you opened your eyes. Okay. Close your eyes again. A successful meal is not created by adding one overpowering spice, like we're not using salt to flavor everything. It requires balance, timing, preparation, and the right combination of flavors. And in the same way, employee motivation becomes stronger when people have meaningful choice, they feel capable in their roles, and experience connection with coworkers, supervisors, and the organization's purpose. So, autonomy does not mean a workplace has no structure. In culinary terms, it's not the same as telling every cook to make anything they want while guests are already seated. Instead, autonomy means allowing employees enough freedom, and we don't even call them that. We call them team members, but sometimes you have to use that dirty word employee, okay? But we allow them enough freedom to use judgment, creativity, and ownership within clear expectations. And competence reflects the training, the feedback, and practice the team members need to perform well. Relatedness reflects the human side of work, belonging, respect, and connection. And the major strength of self determination theory is that it explains why employees often become more engaged when they feel respected and supported rather than controlled. So, recent research connects autonomy, need satisfaction, empowering leadership, and workplace outcomes to higher engagement and motivation. And that's coming from Gagne and Knevelswood and his whole team, both of their whole teams actually, and McNally and Hager. And a weakness is that psychological need satisfaction can be difficult to measure consistently across different jobs and organizations and business practice. And leaders can apply this theory by giving meaningful choices, offering useful feedback, and supporting development and connecting daily work to a larger purpose, which we know is so important these days. When these elements are balanced properly, motivation gains the same thing a strong dish needs, which is depth, structure, and zest. And let me give you a second there just to take a look at this without me running my mouth. Plus, I get to have a little sip of Arizona green tea. No, I'm not a stockholder. I'm not plugging Arizona. Stop that. Now, when looking at goal setting theory, think about walking into a kitchen before a major dinner service. There's nothing great that's going to happen by accident, right? The stove's not going to turn itself on. The pan doesn't start sizzling by magic, and the meal is not going to come together unless everyone knows what they're cooking and when it needs to be finished and what the final plate is supposed to look like, preferably with a photograph up on the wall, right? Tonight's special needs to look like this. This is exactly what goal setting theory means in the workplace. Specific and challenging goals give people direction. In a kitchen, if make dinner better is said, nobody really knows what that means. But if we need 100 plates ready by 6:30, as said, the sauce must be smooth, the protein needs to be rested tonight, and every plate has to leave the pass hot. Now the team has clarity. Clarity turns effort into performance. It gets the burner lit. So the strength of this theory is its practicality. Managers can use it immediately with teams, projects, and individual teammates. Clear goals, regular feedback, and commitment helps people stay focused. When the pressure rises, and believe it when the pan is hot and tickets are flying, feedback matters. But there's also a warning here: if goals become too rigid, people can burn out or focus only on the target and forget the bigger purpose in cooking terms, goal setting theory. You can overseason the dish. A little spice can bring flavor, too much can ruin the whole plate, right? So leaders have to balance ambition for the corporation with resources, support, and common sense. The workplace application is simple: set clear goals, keep communication open, give feedback often, and ensure individual goals align with the larger mission. This is how we keep the kitchen and the organization moving with purpose, flavor, and fire. And again, if I'm moving too fast for you, just pause me at any time. Here, job demands and resources theory. So, this explains motivation by examining the balance between the pressures employees face and the supports available to help them perform well. Job demands may include workload or time pressure, emotional strain, role conflict, and high expectations. So, in a White House kitchen or at a state dinner, these demands would resemble the pressure of serving dignitaries, where every plate must leave the kitchen with precision, timing, and dignity. And when demands exceed available support or strain and burnout, you know, can then increase. And job resources serve as the organizational equivalent of a well prepared mise en place. We're always saying that in the kitchen. Mise en place means everything in order. Okay. Clean direction, strong supervision, feedback, autonomy, training, teamwork, and recovery practices give employees the tools they need to meet challenging expectations. And recent research supports this balance, so strengths use and proactive vitality management have been associated with employee engagement, which is cited by PAP and Team in 2022. And telework performance has also been linked to the interaction among job demands, job resources, and satisfaction. Peiro and Team documented that in 2024. Work design further contributes to sustainable well-being and performance when resources are intentionally strengthened. Perez Nebra et al. 2022. In practice, this theory reminds leaders that excellence requires more than urgency. High standards matter, but employees also, team members also need preparation, coaching, trust, and recovery. Got to have that recovery period. And let's take a look here now at Ngozi Okonjo Iweala and Professor Jing Zhu and superstar Dua Lipa. So this slide connects the self-determination theory to real-world leadership creativity and contemporary workplace culture. And Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, she represents purpose-driven leadership because her public career demonstrates how mission, service, and competence can motivate people beyond financial reward alone. And Dr. Jing Zhu brings the direct research connection because her work on creativity shows how employee choice, rewards, and personality can shape creative performance in pedagogy and at the university. And Dua Lipa on stage and in business is a cultural and business example rather than a motivation researcher. Her value lies in contemporary music's ability to represent autonomy, identity, emotional regulation, and belonging in modern workplaces. A company, therefore, that allows safe, role appropriate headphone use is not simply letting people listen to music, it may be giving employees controlled autonomy over their work environment. And Scott documented that with Team in 2025 and makes this stronger by arguing that music at work can even support focus and performance when employees self regulate its use. Okay. So let's be mindful of that. As soon as you mention to somebody we're going to let them have music at work, they may freak out. And Scott further with the team mentioned that listening to music has curvilinear effects on attentional focus and performance on work tasks. We know that also, by the way, the people that listen to music, classical music, do better in studies, university studies, school, college. We know that. So the business point is not music fixes motivation. The stronger point is that autonomy, supportive leadership provides people with the tools they need to bring their best selves to work. And this image is actually showing Dua Lipa speaking with her team before a concert because she is a businesswoman. Okay? But the deeper point is that a major performance is really never the work of a single person. Behind the artist are dozens of people coordinating sound, lighting, staging, wardrobe, security, choreography, transportation, and timing. So, like a staff of 90 people in this picture represents a fully operational system operating under pressure where every role matters and every mistake can affect the audience's final experience. That's the customer, the client, the audience. This also connects well to workplace motivation and performance. So before the concert begins, the team needs focus, shared purpose, communication, and trust. A pre show meeting allows the leader to reinforce expectations, recognize the team's effort, and create emotional energy before the performance. So, in this kind of environment, music is not just entertainment, it becomes part of the work setting, therefore shaping mood, attention, and performance. And Scott et al. In 2025 suggested that music at work, as I mentioned, can support attention and performance, but only when used appropriately and in the right context. So, for this reason, the concert setting is a powerful example of teamwork, leadership, motivation, and workplace coordination and action. And you may have never thought of Dua Lipa or these stars like Barbara Streisand or whoever you love, okay? Herbie Hancock, whoever you love, that they have these meetings as business people and address 90 to 150 stagehands and grips and booms and camera people and bring them all together. And yes, the business leader is going to speak. Okay. Let me give you a chance to take a look at the business link here and a direct applied example of this Native American, Commander John Harrington. So Commander Harrington is the strongest fit for goal setting and self-efficacy because his career path really illustrates disciplined achievement, persistence, and belief in one's capability under demanding conditions. And I can't think of any more demanding conditions than dying in outer space and freezing to death. So, in business terms, this connects to how organizations motivate employees when work is challenging, technical, or high stakes. Could be other high stakes like bridge walkers or high power tension or working in a rock and quarry environment. There's lots of high stakes environments. It's not just dying in outer space, okay? Goal setting theory argues that specific challenging goals can focus attention and increase effort when employees are committed to those goals and receive useful feedback. And self efficacy adds another layer. Employees are more likely to persist when they believe they can succeed naturally. This matters for leadership because managers cannot simply assign difficult goals and expect motivation to appear out of thin air. They must also build competence through coaching, feedback, resources, and recognition. And Dadub and team in 2021 helps make this idea culturally grounded because it brings Native American worker job satisfaction. And John is very well identified with the Chickasaw Nation. That's his big thing. Bless him. It brings that into the discussion. The business application is straightforward. Employees perform better when goals are clear. Feedback is respectful. And the workplace supports both skill and development with identity. This is motivation with backbone, not another motivational post or fluff idea that was hung in a hallway. Now let's look at resources, retention, and sustainable performance and wrap this up because this is the last slide. I appreciate you today. Well, thank you so much for letting me into your life through humility. Humility is one of the big things at our university. It's in our logo in Latin. And thank you. I appreciate you very much. My references will be coming up here, as I mentioned. They are available. And my thank you to you. I will say goodbye now. But if you do need me, there's my QR code. And we had the information on how to contact me up at the beginning, the secondary slide there. So if you would like, my email address is here to email me, and my Orchid ID worldwide And a lot of my work, not all of it, but a lot of it at ResearchGate is right there. So please feel free to contact me at any time. And let's take a look at that last slide. Here we have some excellent examples of Amalia Perez Nebra and Jose Peiro and Delia Virga. Muchas gracias to these professors. La maestro Amalia Perez Nebra, this particular teacher is getting on up in their years, but she's not calling it quits anytime soon. Uh, Dr. Peiro, he has somewhat retired at this point, and Ms. Delia Virga is going strong, going strong. So this slide closes the Showcase of People section by showcasing that motivation is not only about ambition, it's also about whether the workplace provides people with the resources to sustain performance, sustainable performance. We used to say this in the military a lot: sustainable, superior performance. You're not just a flash in the pan. 10, 15, 20 years of 4.0, 5.0 evaluations. And Amalia Raquel Perez Nebra and Jose Peiro and Delia Virga, they are strong choices because they are directly connected to contemporary organizational psychology research. Perez Nebra supports the idea of the happy productive worker, especially in relation to well-being and performance. Peiro fits the modern business world because telework and hybrid supervision are now major workplace realities after COVID. Okay. And Virga connects strongly to self-regulation because her work on proactive vitality management and strengths use shows that employees actively manage their own energy and engagement. And Jamil and Ulhaq in 2025 also helped connect this slide to turnover intention because supervisory support, self-efficacy, and work engagement are tied to whether people stay or leave. The business takeaway from today's presentation is that organizations should not motivate people by squeezing harder. They should remove unnecessary demands, strengthen support, design better jobs, and help team members manage energy and strengths. Sustainable motivation is a system, and it's not a slogan. And thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I'm wishing you a fantastic rest of the week.